Hey guys, Larry from Real Hi-Fi Help and Free Hi-Fi Consultation. I want to share a thought with you guys. Something that I realized. I just received this 10-meter long wheel of 2502F power cable from Inacoustic, and this is probably the best value, cheapest power cable I've ever heard. The reason why I'm saying this is not to promote it. It's because I realized putting it in my setup here, putting my OE8 plugs on it, that this is one of the main problems with the hi-fi industry. This is sort of like one of the main problems for when I go and listen to any piece of gear in almost any store, in my countries and other countries. I can never fully understand what the speaker is doing, the DAC, the amp, all the other stuff is doing, because the dealer never has something like this. I'm not saying specifically this, but I'm saying something like this. This is one of the key elements of making your baseline in your system compatible with most gear. So you understand what all the different parts are doing. When I'm listening to Macintosh and Accuphase and Eversolo and Lumen and all that stuff in the stores, I typically get a very, very vague, confusing impression of that gear. And it's not just those brands, but generally all brands in all stores, because what they have is basic stuff like this. This is vagueness. This is not understanding what's going on with the sound. Sure, it only costs $1. Everybody has it. Everybody can play hi-fi at this level. But that will give you like a 20% impression of what that's doing and what that's doing and all of this other stuff is doing. Sure, you can hear differences between amps, but it's not going to be apparent, and it's not going to be glued together, and it's not going to be an overall good experience. Okay? And this here with 037 plugs or 079 plugs, that's basically the winning combination that all audio stores in the world should be using as the most basic cables that they have in their system. When they're going from stuff like Supra, Syndax, Fanden, Hull, most of these eBay copy cables, Amazon cables, Prime, whatever they're called, Alibaba cables, most of these power cables that are on the market, I would say from around $25 to up to about $500. Most of them are, excuse me, my language, crap. They are, what they're doing to the sound is that they're opening up the sound while not doing a good job, because you can hear that there's some lack of quality in the signal. It could be the thread, it could be the plastic insulation, whatever. And what this thing does, it's not anything that's magical. It dumbs down the sound, gives it a good overall sound, but I have to say that you kind of miss this thing on the market, because if you use it with Inacoustic's own plugs, it's still a decent product, but you don't get nearly the same good lipstick effect like with the OE8 plugs. You don't get the same naturality and overall musicality of the sound. So what I'm saying is that there's so much gear on the market that people just haven't heard yet. They think that they've heard it, but trust me, you have to have something like this at the very base of your system as an absolute minimum. And you can have one system that has maybe 079 gold plugs with this, and another system that has 037, like the ones I have over there on. So you have the same theme going on in the system. And what I'm saying is that if you don't have this, you don't really have anything. So sorry that I say it. This is not to start any religious wars, but this is sort of like the most basic good sound that I have heard. And what I'm saying is that you need stuff like this that dumbs down the sound, that makes it simple, but not in a suspicious way, where you suspect that it's lacking a bit here and there. This is a good overall dumbed down sound that I would want to listen to basically all gear in the world. And if you want to up the ante or whatever you call it, get a much better sound, then look at my blog and then look at those levels above this. That's significantly better, but you don't need to go for that to start with. And the reason why I'm saying this is because so many people contact me with all kinds of do-it-yourself solutions. Dual on tin cover. Should I go to hificollective.co.uk and make my own power cables? Yada 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 yada. Trust me when I say this. This cable here, which only costs about, I think it's $30 per 1.5 meter cable that you make. For $30, I can basically be 99% of all power cables going up to around $500. Of course, there will be some few ones that are a lot better than this within $500. I've noted them down in my blog. And I'm not saying this so I can earn any money contacting these companies, because they all don't want to talk to me. I've tried that. But I'm saying this so you can get in contact with your gear and listen to whatever gear that you want to listen to and make all the gear on the market sound beautiful in its own kind of way. And this is what they never told us. The guys who owns the stores out there, they don't know this stuff. This is the stuff that makes everything sound pretty much overall glued together and relevant. And you don't open up the detail. That the problem that we have with most power cables and most cables that are sold in the stores is that they open up the detail, but the quality does not follow with the more information that we get. That's the problem. My hi-fi friend, Yamaha friend who owns Hi-Fi Cable DK, he has one of the best value speaker cables on the market. I think it's called Odin Horn 1 or 2 or whatever it's called. That cable, I hated it. The Via Blue cables that I borrowed from him, I hated them. And you know what the theme is about most cables that I don't like? The quality. They always increase the information here and there. They boost the treble, they boost the bass, they open up for this and that kind of effect in the music, but the quality never comes together with the more information that you get. This here is a decent quality sound, decent quality, but it's dumbed down in a way where you don't see through the sound, where it isn't super apparent. It's glued very well together. And a lot of companies have made a similar cable to this, but usually they charge a bit more. And what I'm saying is that this is what we need. This here, AudioNote Isis Grand Activation AC55, I think it's called, AudioQuest Dragon top model, and then the couple of others that I mentioned in my blog. Those are the cables that we need in our system. Okay, don't do what most people are doing and ignore this. This here is cheap, it's simple, it makes all stuff sound good. So if you own an audio store, please follow my advice or you will scare your customers away. Don't use your Syndac power cables, your Supra power cables, your QED, your Fender Hull, and all of those normal power cables. Use stuff like this as a bare minimum. This can fit any gear on the market. If I have a very revealing system that is a bit on the analytical side, use this cable still, and then just put some 0.79 plugs on. And if it's super revealing, just make a 3 meter version power cable instead of a 1.5 meter. For some reason, I cannot explain why, but it goes 1.5 meters, 3 meters. There's something mathematically about that formula that makes those two lengths sound better in general. And of course, 2 meters can also sound really good. That is what I used to recommend, but for some reason, I don't know if it's because I have tube gear or what it is. 1.5 meters and 3 meters, that is the best. 2 meters, it usually doesn't work for me, but in this rare case with my super cable here, that is 2 meters long. Just so you guys know. Just wanted to share that with you guys so that everybody gets to have a really good hi-fi experience. So whenever you're going to a store, you want to demo any gear, have this thing pre-made, bring it to the store, ask, can I put this and connect it to your CD player, your amplifier, your DAC, whatever. And when you listen to this at home and then listen to whatever gear you have at the store, you know what you are listening to, and you're not getting this weird conflicting sound that you hear at many audio stores. So I hope that helps you guys in achieving whatever type of sound that you guys are going for. Bye.